For whatever reason, I was actually ashamed to tell people that I moved to Spain. When everybody is moving to either US, UK, Canada, then there's me, Spain. Who moves to Spain? If you're multi-passionate or someone who's had to leave their country and move to a different country for whatever reason, basically as an immigrant or an expat, this video is going to resonate with you. I might be sharing my own experience, but you'll probably see yourself in it. I know because every immigrant has a story to tell, and mine isn't any much different, but it's worth sharing. Just a heads up, in the course of this video, you'd hear me use the word expat because I don't see myself as an immigrant, to be honest. They are two different things, and I'm going to share their difference on the screen. Just before we get into the video, here's a quick intro or background story about me. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Cynthia Wajobi, but you can call me Cindy. I actually like being called Cindy a lot, especially if I hadn't told the person that they can call me Cindy and they just call me Cindy. It makes me feel like the person is actually fond of me, kind of, and it warms my heart. So yes, it's phenomenal Cindy over here. Moving on, I moved to Spain 2 years ago, towards the end of 2023. That was precisely 4 days after my induction. Yes, it was very unexpected. Even I myself didn't really see that coming. It happened really fast. Now here's the thing. I've never really been in the school of thought of you have to leave Nigeria for you to make it and all of that. Did I have plans to leave Nigeria at some point? Yes, of course, but not on a long-term basis, more like short-term or for a particular reason, like going to further my studies abroad or going to do some international work just to gain that international exposure or just visiting for a while, changing environment and seeing life from a different lens, different culture. Yes, that's always been part of the plan. I love traveling basically, and I know I was going to be traveling a lot, but not having to leave Nigeria. And that's why you hear me say I'm an expert, because even right now that I'm in Spain, it's still for a particular reason. I left for family reunion, but then other things happen along the way. But I don't plan to spend my whole life or even so much years in Spain. I do have a 5-year plan of my stay here. So yes, I can say that even as I've moved out of Nigeria, my ideologies haven't changed. I've always been about leaving the country to better the country, come back and pay it forward. So what made me decide to leave Nigeria at the time I did, and why Spain, and what has life been like since then? I'm going to get into all of that in bits in this video. If I'm being honest, what triggered my move out of Nigeria back in 2023 was the outcome of the election that year. Yes, the presidential election. It broke my heart. I had told myself that if Peter Obi doesn't win the election, I'm going to leave Nigeria because I didn't see any much hope at that point. Yes, I took that election quite personally, and the outcome got me really depressed. So when the outcome of that election was announced, I just called my dad. I was like, Daddy, I really want to leave this country. I think it's time. Just make it happen. And my dad has been in Spain for years. So he was like, okay, if that's what you want. He started processing my documents alongside my younger sister. So already my brother was already in Spain with him. Everything happened really fast, to be honest. The whole process and all of that happened quite quickly, because while all of that was going on, I was even still navigating life as a fresh graduate. I had my internship that I needed to start because I did medical lab science, and after that you have to do your internship, then youth service. So I was busy traveling. I went to Abuja to write my exams for my internships, was applying. Also on the other side, I was pursuing my film career. I had just featured in a Netflix movie, both as a crew member and as a cameo cast at Kunle Afolayan's set of the movie Ijogbon, showing on Netflix. Basically, my career was just taking off. Yes, 2023 felt quite slow, but then it's normal because I just graduated, and all of a sudden I had to leave the country just 4 days after my induction. So that was quite a lot. It was exciting because yes, it was an answered prayer, because it was a family reunion. My family was a bit all over the place, and that was an opportunity for us to finally be together, especially since after my mom passed. So, as much as it was a good thing, it was also a bit hard because I felt like I needed to start my life afresh, and just even having to move to a new country altogether, it takes a toll on you, especially within the first few weeks or few months, depending. For me, what helped a bit was that at least I was with my family. I can't imagine how it would have been if it was just me. Oh my god, it would have been crazy. But still, I was like, so what do I do with my life now? I didn't do my internship. How do I navigate my career, my filmmaking? What happens with that? I don't know anybody here. So many questions. And because I'm the kind of person that likes certainty, I like to lay out plans and all of that and be clear exactly. But for the first time in my life, I was uncertain. In fact, for the past 2 years that I've been in Spain, uncertainty has just suddenly become a thing, to be honest. It's been quite a journey, but I'm going to take you through it to the glory of God. God has been faithful. And let me even tell you, for whatever reason, I was actually ashamed to tell people that I moved to Spain. I don't know. Because when everybody is moving to either US, UK, Canada, then there's me, Spain. Who moves to Spain? I think it was just my mind. So then if you ask me, oh, where are you now? Did you jackpot? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Europe. Well, I won't tell you I'm in Spain. But looking back, I'm like, huh? I'm actually, now I say it with my full chest because Spain is actually an awesome place to live in. When I moved here, all of that thoughts about career and what next with my life, where do I go from here? It just really clouded me. And because of the way the mindset or how immigrants here have kind of limited themselves, most people are like, oh, you have to start applying for hotel jobs, restaurant jobs as a waiter, just put your CV together and apply for jobs in restaurants. What? A whole graduate like me, medical laboratory science graduate, a filmmaker, or I should go and apply as a waiter or kitchen assistant. So it felt really below me. And it's not about pride, but I just know that it's not something I can do. But some people are like, but it's part of what you have to face when you come. But I know that there has to be better. This can't be it. And at some point, I was beginning to just accept the fact that, especially when someone I respected told me that, oh, even she had to do a bit of petty jobs before later finding corporate, I really was going to go for that. In fact, imagine me crying because I didn't get a job at Domino's Pizza as a waitress. But my God is faithful. I say, God is wonderful because I had applied, I had gotten the job, but the whole paperwork, something contracts, because my papers were still in process. But again, I was eligible to work, but the company policy said no, and all of that. So I felt really bad because then I was actually like broke. So at that point, I was like, I really needed the job. But God had better plans because few days, I think about 2 days after, I got a call for another role, and I got to an interview. It was a technical support role at an IT firm, right, a multinational firm. So it felt more befitting than at least the former, right, because I'd be in the office, sit down, comfortable, and it just felt it had a bit more prestige to it, and the pay was a lot more, almost times three. So God had better plans for me then. So I took the job, and most people were surprised. They're like, "How are you able to find this kind of job, especially in that season?" Towards after October, November, most people are like, "Oh, jobs. There are no more jobs," because again, their mindset is that it's hotel and hotels close after the summer. But then I was like, "Oh, there are opportunities." Even when I was applying, I found some platforms because again, I'm such a Googler. I googled a lot, and I was like, "There are actually jobs in Spain. There are jobs here in Mallorca." I think it's just we need to open our minds more as immigrants or as experts. So I did that for a bit, but even my plan with that job was just like I'll be there for maybe 3 months ish. Once my document comes out, I'm leave to a different country and all of that. Because again, customer service was the last thing I imagined myself doing. But I stayed there for 9 months because again, life had other plans. So yeah, it was a comfortable job, but that was the problem. It was too comfortable. I was doing the same thing every time. There was nothing challenging my creativity and all of that, just following scripts. And it was beginning to drain my soul. I eventually had to resign, and things started to go pretty downhill from there. I did have a lot of savings. I was saving for something else, but man, that savings, it turned out to save my life. But yes, after I had to leave my job, I was out of job for about a whole year, and it was one of the toughest times of my life. It was also in that season that I had to make some life-changing decisions. I had to get some more clarity. Okay, what am I really going to do next from here? And that's why I said the quiet seasons might be tough, but there are also the seasons that shape you the most. To be honest, I wanted to keep making films. I wanted to keep being a writer, but my current reality was not supporting that because, being in a new country where you don't know the language, it's a different ball game navigating such an industry. So that's when I decided to pivot into tech. To be honest, that was an age-old dream, but then something happened. I was pursuing something else, and in the middle of that, even with all the disappointments, I just got that eureka moment to actually go into data analytics, healthcare data analytics to be precise, because I do already have that medical background with that domain knowledge. I just need to learn the technical skills, and it's going to really help me in that field. And to be honest, at this point in my life, I just really needed stability. The creative industry is not quite stable. It's the kind of career where you don't know where your next meal is coming from, especially when you're just starting. And then to top it all, I'm in a different country where I know nobody. So I needed stability. And I believe tech was the next right step for me to really get that stability. And it's not that I was leaving filmmaking, no, it's that I needed something to support my inner artist, to support my creative pursuit. Because again, you need money to even make good creative works. And that's how I really started building a career in tech and learning the skills from for someone with no technical background. It was an interesting challenge to take on, but I'm someone who loves challenges, thankfully. I started learning data analytics last year around Q2, so I'm still pretty new in the journey, but the growth has been immense and still exploring the field and what it has to offer. But it looks really, really promising, and I'm just happy that I took that bold step to even pivot and build something for myself. So there's a lot more coming, and hopefully in subsequent videos I'm going to get more into that. But if you're still watching up until this point, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much. I hope you've subscribed at this point. Please subscribe, like, drop a comment. This would help YouTube push the video further to people who would actually need to see it. I just want to drop a few points, like life lessons from this story, in case you haven't really picked it up yet. But it's really important that I share these few points for anyone watching who is on a similar journey or who is even planning to relocate and having these thoughts and concerns. My number one advice would be, don't let anyone shame you for being multi-passionate. Yes, you have multiple skills and multiple interests, and people would think you're confused. You're not confused. You're actually even building leverage, to be honest. For me, my unfair advantage has been the fact that I'm multi-passionate. So it's really helped me a lot to adapt and even penetrate into spaces. There's no space that I don't go into that I can't shine because of that multi-passionate nature that I have. I've kind of hinted this earlier in this video, but two, I would say that life happens in seasons and it's okay. Embrace every seasons. There are quiet seasons as well as the loud seasons. The quiet seasons may be tough, but they are the seasons that shape you the most. Key into it and see what that season is shaping you into. What is it teaching you? Why? What is the purpose of that season? Because it's there for a purpose. Thirdly, if you're an immigrant, please open your mind up to opportunities. You didn't leave your country to just come to another country to be small-minded. There are opportunities. Opportunities exist for you. Open your mind to it and reach for more. It's okay to start with petty jobs. It's definitely fine. You need to start somewhere, but please don't stay there for too long. If you have other dreams or interests, pursue them. Find those people who are going to help you achieve your dreams. Even if those people are not there, just be determined that you're going to make it. Now, again, this one is for the multi-passionate. Being multi-passionate doesn't mean that you have to do everything and be everything at once. No, it means that you can pursue each interest per season. You can give your interest main character energy per season. You need to understand, okay, like what is the reality, what fits in this season. It doesn't mean you're bearing other interests, but it means that one is going to take front and center. For example, tech is dominating this season, but it doesn't mean that my creative pursuit has been thrown away. I'm still pursuing that, but now it's more on the quiet side. The priority at this point is building that stability and building a career in tech, because I care so much about my creative pursuits that I want to be able to fund it with a more stable career path. So if you're not passionate, don't feel like I need to do this, I need to do that. You can do all of that, but what is really the priority in this season? The other things can just be in the background. Thank you so much for spending time with me up until this moment. I really appreciate it. And if you're still here, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. I really want to know where you're watching from, and if you have a similar story to share, I'd like to hear it. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll see you in my next video. There's so much more coming up. This is more like an intro video. So in my next video, I'm going to be sharing more on how to rebuild your career after a major life disruption. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. See you. Take care. Bye.